You know that phrase we hear all the time? Life is all about collecting experiences? It sounds so inspiring, doesn't it? I mean, it's pretty much become the official motto of our generation. We grind away at our jobs, saving up for that epic trip to Iceland to finally see the Northern Lights, or to splurge on that Michelin star meal. And we tell ourselves this is what it means to really be alive.
But is it? Really? Is a good, fulfilling life just a giant checklist of things you've done and places you've been? I think we need to talk about that, because what if this belief that we hold so dear, what if it's not really what it seems at all? In fact, what if I told you that this whole philosophy is actually one of the biggest, most successful commercial lies of our time? What if this frantic chase for more and more experiences is the very thing that's making us more anxious, more empty, and more burned out than ever? So let's really pull back the curtain here. It feels like we've walked into this strange era where living has somehow turned into a performance. Just think about your social media feed for a second. It's this endless highlight reel of infinity pools, stunning mountaintops, and fancy meals. And it's all sending the same message, right? If you're not doing this, your life just isn't quite complete. Does any of this sound maybe a little too familiar? Travel stops being a journey and starts feeling like a task, another box to check. You're finally standing in front of something absolutely breathtaking, and your first gut instinct isn't to just feel it, it's to pull out your phone and film it. You get that little spike of anxiety if the Wi-Fi is too slow to post your story right away. And here's the crucial part. We start becoming spectators in our own lives, collecting these experiences like they're medals to prove our worth to everyone else. But a life that's directed for an audience is rarely lived for the actor on stage. So, to really understand why we're so caught in this loop, it actually helps to look inside our own brains. See, this isn't just some cultural issue, it's a chemical one. We are caught in a seriously powerful dopamine trap. Okay, so here's a huge misconception we need to clear up. We all tend to think of dopamine as the happiness molecule, right? But neuroscientists have a different name for it. They call it the desire molecule. It's the chemical of wanting, of looking forward to something. It's the thrill you get when you're planning the trip, not the actual peace you feel when you're there. Its main job is just to make you want more. The investor and philosopher Naval Ravikant just absolutely nailed it with this quote. He said, "Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want." Think about that. When we're living for that next dopamine hit, it's like we're just signing one of these contracts after another after another. And that really brings us to this key contrast. Dopamine is all about the chase. It's that feeling of excitement, of craving, and it's always fueled by something outside of you. But real, lasting contentment, well, that seems to come from other chemicals like serotonin and endorphins. This is the feeling of arrival. It's calm. It's that quiet sense of this is enough. And, most importantly, it's generated from the inside, not from another notification or another purchase. And this is the perfect metaphor for that dopamine-driven life, isn't it? We're like hamsters on a wheel. We think if we just run a little faster, collect one more experience, post one more photo, we'll finally get somewhere. But we're just spinning in place, totally burning ourselves out while we chase a horizon that just keeps moving further away. So this brain chemistry, it's not happening in a vacuum, right? It actually plugs directly into a very deep, very human psychological feeling, this sense of scarcity that makes us constantly grasp for things outside of ourselves. And this, right here, is the absolute core of the problem. A scarcity mindset is that little nagging voice in the back of your head telling you that, deep down, you're not enough. Not interesting enough, not successful enough, not worthy enough. It's the feeling of having an inner void. And wow, is modern consumer culture an expert at exploiting this. It basically whispers in our ear, hey, that emptiness you feel, that's just a problem that money can solve. You're not unhappy, you just haven't been to Bali yet. Experiences get turned into products, each one sold with the promise that the next one, that's the one that will finally fill that void for good. But here's the thing. It's a false promise. It's a lie. Because you take yourself with you everywhere you go. If you feel anxious and not good enough in your own living room, guess what? You're going to feel anxious and not good enough at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. The background changes, sure, but your internal state comes right along with you. The scenery was never the problem. So if chasing breath, just collecting more and more experiences, is a trap, what's the alternative? It's not about becoming a hermit and avoiding experiences altogether. No. It's about totally redefining what a rich experience even is. It's about shifting our focus from breadth to depth.
Just look at this comparison for a second. On one side, you've got someone in Iceland standing under the northern lights. This is a peak, bucket list experience. But they're anxious, they're fumbling with their camera settings, they're already worrying about the perfect caption for Instagram. Their mind is everywhere but there. Now look at the other side. Someone is just sitting on their own balcony with a simple cup of tea. But they are completely present. They feel the warmth of the cup in their hands, they smell the aroma of the tea, they're just watching the light fade. So who do you think is actually having the richer experience?
And this brings us to this really powerful concept called experience density. The idea here is that a rich life isn't measured by how many stamps you have in your passport. It's measured by how much you can actually feel and notice and absorb in any given moment. It's not about what you do, it's about how much of you is actually there while you're doing it.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? How do we break this cycle and start cultivating this kind of depth in our own lives? Well, let's look at 3 really practical exercises you can literally start today. First up, a dopamine detox. The next time you do something really cool, climb a mountain, cook a fantastic meal, see a great concert, tell no one. No post, no story, nothing. Reclaim that joy just for yourself, not for external validation. Second, practice doing nothing. For just 10 minutes a day, sit somewhere without any input. No phone, no music, no podcast. It's going to be hard and boring at first, but learning to befriend boredom is a modern-day superpower. And third, full immersion in ordinary tasks. When you wash the dishes, just wash the dishes. Feel the warm water on your hands, hear the clinking of the plates. This is how you start to find the sacred in the ordinary. When you put all these practices together, they're all pointing towards one huge, profound shift in mindset. Moving away from a life that's defined by always needing more and toward a life of self-sufficiency. A life where you are simply enough.
And this, right here, is really the central takeaway. The goal isn't to check everything off your bucket list. The real goal is to shrink the list. True freedom and real, lasting satisfaction, they're not found in getting everything you've ever wanted. They're found in the quiet realization that you already have everything you truly need.
So I'll leave you with a final thought to mull over. And be honest with yourself. When was the last time you felt a true, deep sense of peace? Was it at some famous landmark surrounded by crowds? Or was it, maybe, in a quiet, simple, ordinary moment? The answer to that question might just tell you everything you need to know.